Welcome everyone to Sister Wives with Mary Jane Kay. Today, I'll be giving my commentary on Sister Wives, Season 17, Episode 4, and then there were 3. Since Kotex wants to be seen and heard as the king, the patriarch of his family, I felt it necessary to highlight Cody in some of his best moments on this thumbnail, the ramen-haired king of the prairie dog plagueland. When Cody is standing on that mound of prairie dog-infested dirt, it really looks to me like he is planning for his big coronation. He should have a throne on that dirt clump, the crown his Karen soccer mom's sun visor, covering the spots of recession on his hairline that starts at the back of his head. And Cody can be anointed with the prairie dog-infested dirt water from the drainage ditch. I think we should honor Kotex in all his glory and really show him how exalted he is. Cody wants to be the patriarch, the adored king, the head of the family. He calls the obstacles to his goals in life. So let's take the time to really notice and honor this self-proclaimed alpha male who is dying to be seen and appreciated and exalted. The alpha male who can't go see his daughter outside 6 feet apart per his rules, because it's too cold outside for him. I've really never seen an alpha male afraid of the cold, an alpha male with an aversion to sex, an alpha male with such tender sensibilities and such a fragile constitution. Cody can't even do the basics as a husband and father. He can't even attend his daughter's major surgery. He can't make decisions for the group and set aside his own personal convenience or negative emotions towards his wives to be there for his kids. Instead, those who do not fall in line, those who do not bend the knee, those who expect compromise from their husband or their father foolishly, are punished, because to Cody, being a father and being a husband is a reward for obedience and good behavior. If you do things to the king's liking, he will grace you with his presence and participate at a substandard level as a husband and a father as a reward. If not, there is no compromise. The king completely disengages because it is inconvenient for him. And to Cody, being a father and a husband is conditional to the submission of his wives and kids to all of Cody's whims. Cody wants to be celebrated, the leader, the patriarch. So he's going to be seen today. He is going to be prioritized just as he likes. A few things struck me during this episode, particularly Cody pretending to be Father of the Year. Cody lamenting that he is no longer the head of the family, saying his wives signed up for a patriarchy, the lack of accountability from Cody as usual, and also none of Christine's sister wives focused on Cody's responsibility in the failure of his marriage to Christine. It seemed like a lot of the weight was put on Christine. Cody also seems rather concerned with Christine dating and finding a man, as if she has some secret nefarious plot to remarry and she is moving to Utah just to date men so she can one day marry and rob Cody blind. I doubt a man is what's on Christine's mind right now. She made it crystal clear that she was not leaving Kotex because she wanted to move to Utah on a personal level. It's not about Utah at all. Christine's leaving Cody was not motivated by her desire to move to Utah. Cody wants to make it about that to deflect from taking accountability. He also tried to blame it on COVID, as if Christine made her decision to divorce Cody based on the pandemic and the way it was handled. He said that in a previous episode, and all of it is very insulting to Christine and to Christine's intelligence and to viewers and their intelligence as well. It's obvious that Christine is leaving because she is very unhappy. She understands she can't get what she needs or deserves from her husband. He is incapable to give her what she needs and deserves. He is incapable to give her kids with him what they need from him as a father and what they deserve. And what Kotex can give is less than his children deserve of him as their father. And it's also less than what Christine deserves of him as a wife. They tried for years and it will never work because Cody is incapable. Christine gets it now. It clicked for her. And for Cody to dismiss it as Christine just leaving for COVID or because she wants to live in Utah is insulting to Christine. It's insulting to their whole relationship and marriage. It's disrespectful. And really, it makes Cody look like a complete fool. The reason Christine is moving to Utah is for a support system. She doesn't have a maniacal plot to marry a man and steal Cody's money he made from exploiting his family. That's what Cody envisions in his mind because he is paranoid, because he's a manipulative person. He's a manipulative dickface who always assumes the worst, who wants to spin a narrative that Christine is evil, plotting and planning, saying Christine is blocking access to Truly and the kids. Christine is greedy. Christine has bad intentions. And the only one who looks bad here with this fuckery is Cody. And the more he tries to project and spin to cushion the blow to his ego, the more unwell he appears to be. He also seems to have major short-term and long-term memory issues, it seems. Did we not all see the talk 6 weeks ago in episode 1 of season 17 where Cody agreed to let Christine go? And she clarified with him that she would go to Utah with Truly. And what did Cody say? He said, okay. And he said he would have to try to be happy for Christine, that she was happy and free now. Now he wants to try and suggest he never agreed to it. Listen, Cody knows he agreed to it, but he wants to try and make Christine look like the bad guy doing all of this to him to take away from having to mention or take stock of his own accountability and responsibility for this failed marriage. He had all his wives there, and the alpha male wanted to flex and show he was going to fight. He was going for 50-50 custody. Christine can't take Truly from him. She isn't doing anything to him. She isn't taking Truly from him. She can't change Truly's DNA. He is her dad permanently. And if he wants to see Truly, get on a plane, get on a train, get on a bus, get in a car, and see your kid. He can't even bother to see his kids when they're local more than a few times a week, sporadically for an hour or two at best, sitting outside, socially distanced, per his rules. And then he's complaining about the cold and the inconvenience to him just doing that. And let's remember, when Christine lived minutes from Cody, he only spent 3 full days out of 800 with Christine and the kids. And now he wants to play like he's father of the year over Truly. If it's too inconvenient for Cody to find a way to sit in the cold outside with Isabel to see her, it will be far too inconvenient for Cody to see Truly in Utah. Do we believe Cody will get in a car and drive 8 hours each way to see Truly and pick her up for this 50-50 custody he claims he wants? Let's remember, when he courted Robin, he was able to drive 5 or 6 hours each way. He was able to spend weekends there because it was so far that he needed to spend that time, and it wasn't a problem for Cody back then when he was courting Robin to drive for 5 or 6 hours each way to spend a weekend. So if he can drive to see his soulmate, he can drive to visit his daughter too, in my opinion. But my guess is, based on the fact that he wondered if gas stations were even open when he tried to weasel his way out of helping Isabel move to North Carolina for college, knowing full well he fills his gas tank and could do so all throughout the pandemic. He will come up with reasons why he just can't do it. Cody doesn't do much that's inconvenient for him. Just like he tells Janelle, he really can't help her to move her fifth wheel trailer. He got all his wives and kids to move Robin from St. George to Lehigh. Christine even helped put in the washer and dryer at her rental. But Cody can't manage to help Janelle move the trailer. Why not? He could help Robin move and enlist his whole family to pack up her house. But he can't help Janelle move her house. Why is that? One thing that really sticks out in my mind is the Sister Wives special, season 1, episode 8. In that episode, Cody said, America has a point of view that's already prejudiced against him. Stereotypes automatically get assigned when he steps forward like, oh, maybe this guy is patriarchal. Maybe this guy is narcissistic. Maybe he's self-obsessed and he loves having women worship him. Cody says, through the process of the show, viewers get to see him get schooled several times. So he thinks it's very important that America see that he is a man who is just well trained. Cody says these women will not do what he tells them to do. It's never happened. And Christine says he doesn't really try either in this episode. Cody mentions that he has tried before and he got the smackdown. In this current episode, Cody says, and this is an interesting contradiction, that he is the patriarch and he will only deal with the people in the family who respect him, and respect in Cody lingo means what, as we know. What does Cody really mean when he uses the terms respect and loyalty? What did he praise his favorite wife for last tell-all? Obedience. Cody is saying, I'm the patriarch. I am the male leader of this family. I will participate where I am obeyed. You will earn my investment and attention and favor and praise if I am blindly obeyed. Obedience isn't defined as loyalty and respect to anyone other than Kotex and people who have certain personality traits that he seems to have. I know we know what these words mean: patriarchy and respect and loyalty and love and obedience. And the thing is, these terms in Cody's warped mind are twisted into something completely different. When you are ruled by ego and a false perception of yourself, things get twisted because you are viewing them through your poor mental state and through the foggy lens of your false perceptions. So really quickly, I want to define those words as most of the world sees them in their true meaning, with a little help from Merriam-Webster. And then we will contrast that briefly with Cody's definition of these words. Because when Cody says things like, the wives signed up for a patriarchy when they married him and he wants respect, and we see this emotionally delayed baby in an old man's body throw these terms around, he is speaking Chinese and we are all speaking English. So I want to translate because, in my opinion, Cody is trying to condition his wives in a lame attempt to accept his dictatorship. Obedience isn't respect, and I find it interesting that Cody asks his wives for all this respect and he doesn't give them any. He's using the word respect, and I don't think he knows the meaning. So unfortunately, I feel it's necessary to play elementary school teacher to go over this rudimentary English. Let's start with love. What does love mean? A feeling of deep affection. I looked at all the synonyms and none of them were the word obedience. Let's look up respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Respect means deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Or it can mean due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. Or it can mean, as a verb, admire someone or something deeply as a result of their abilities, qualities, or achievements. I again checked the synonyms to see if obedience is a synonym to respect. Unfortunately, it's not there on the list. Now let's define another thing Cody demands: loyalty, defined as showing firm and constant support or allegiance to a person or institution. Again, the word obedience, to obey, is not a synonym for the word loyalty. To obey, obedience means compliance with an order, request, or law or submission to another's authority. Comply with the command, direction, or request of a person or a law. submit to the authority of. The final word is patriarchy, a system of society or government in which the father or eldest male is head of the family and descent is traced through the male line, or a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. Society or community organized on patriarchal lines. Patriarchy is a social system in which positions of dominance and privilege are primarily held by men. And notice, women are largely excluded from it. And Cody says he wants a patriarchy. A patriarch, of course, is the male head of a family. Now, I know you guys are intelligent and you all finished elementary school and you know full well what these words mean in the correct sense. But Cody has a warped sense of perception and a twisted mindset. Everything is about him and upholding his fragile ego. Everything Cody does is about himself, his convenience, and his ego. And Cody is emotionally lazy. He lacks self-awareness. He thinks he's the smartest person in the room, the best person, better than anyone in any room he walks into, more cunning, more clever, more manipulative. And on top of it, Cody also has an overinflated sense of self. He will deflect till kingdom come to avoid taking accountability. He doesn't own his choices. His standards, apparently, are so much higher than anyone else's, and only he is able to reach those great heights. He's so great, everyone is incapable of meeting his standards. Cody just operates at a higher level. God broke the mold when he made Cody. There is no other human like him, the shining example of the self-proclaimed alpha male who seems to have an aversion to sex and the cold. His bones are just way too feeble for the cold. Now the poor guy has islands of bald spots on the side of his head, so those spots get cold in the blustery Flagstaff area. It's just far too cold for him to see his daughter. On top of that, he has severe memory issues to boot because this man has difficulty remembering what he agreed to only 6 weeks ago when he agreed to let go of Christine. I seriously hope he doesn't have dementia. Let's hope not. His forgetfulness seems concerning, the selective memory loss he has to cope with. What a hardship that must be for him. And it reminds me of the same selective memory loss we sometimes find in criminals when law enforcement has to try to pin the perpetrator about where they were on this day from this time to this time. I watch far too much true crime, and typically we hear, I don't know, I'm not good with time, I never said that, I'm not sure, I don't remember, oh, you misunderstood me, I don't know. Just like Cody can't remember the conversation he had 6 weeks ago letting Christine go. It's the same bullshit Cody did about moving to Utah. He told Christine he was for it in private. Then he flipped the script, and now he's done it again, trying to suggest he never agreed to Christine moving to Utah with Truly, as if she forced his hand and told him without asking. That strong, independent, sassy woman who Cody probably assumes is going crazy because of her PMS problem, moving to Utah to find a man to marry, to rob him blind of all his coins. Listen, Christine isn't the obsequious type. She doesn't sit and scheme and manipulate to get Cody where it hurts, to prevent him from seeing his kids, to steal all of his coins. She doesn't manipulate. This isn't a game to her. This is real life. She doesn't have the same warped mindset Cody does. Cody assumes that Christine is manipulative, sitting and scheming. He assumes so because he feels guilt and he knows he is to blame. And because he is constantly scheming and manipulating, he assumes everyone is out to get him. He's paranoid because he knows in his conscience he is doing wrong. And he knows his karma is en route and he feels it, and it's easier to point the finger and deflect than to accept accountability like a man. Let's quickly brush now on Cody's definitions of those terms we went over in Cody speak. When Cody says love, does Cody mean love in the true sense of the word, or does Cody mean obedience? The more a wife or a child blindly obeys, the more they submit, the more they do things Cody's way, the more they comply and bend the knee for Cody, the more they love him, the more attention Cody will reward them with. Being present and available and engaged and invested as a father and as a husband unconditionally is a full-time role. Being a decent husband and father is not a reward for good behavior. It's not a reward for obedience that Cody should be present as a husband and father. Cody interprets obedience as love, and he interprets being a present and invested husband and father as optional. It's not a reward for obedience, but Cody interprets obedience as love from his wives and kids. And Cody now wants to condition his wives and kids that it's their fault if they do not obey him and submit, bending the knee, that then they do not get the basics from him as a decent husband and father, that he will not be present, and that is abusive, it's toxic, and it's manipulative as fuck. It's Cody's responsibility to be a decent father and husband. He signed up for this. He told 4 women he could be their husband. He had 18 kids. He committed to being a father to those kids for their whole lives, not as an optional reward for good behavior. Now, respect and loyalty are Cody speak for obedience. When Cody asks for loyalty and respect, he means obedience. Blindly obey, submit, bend the knee. Respect is total submission. Loyalty is blind obedience. Love is obeying Cody without putting up a fight, without having your voice heard, without expecting compromise. Cody expects his family to no longer be a democracy. He wants a patriarchy. He said in this episode, his wives signed up for a patriarchy, to submit their will to his will when they married him. He asserts he is the patriarch of the family, and anyone who doesn't toe the line and acquiesce, Cody is done with, because anything other than blind obedience to the patriarch, anyone who refuses to bend the knee to the ramen-haired king of the prairie dog plaguelands, he will cleave off and disengage with and abandon completely. Cody made it clear, you get crumbs if you revere me. If not, fuck it, I'm done. When Cody says his wives threw religion out the door, let's remember Cody, as the husband, did it first. When he picked a favorite wife and he refused to do things fairly and equally with all of his wives and kids, as the religion dictates polygamy should be lived. Also, let's talk about this respect Cody demands of his wives and kids that he does not ever give them, especially when he called his family the obstacles to his goals in life. That's the most disrespectful thing he has ever said in my book, and it shows Cody's character on full display. It makes plain exactly how much Cody respects and values his obstacles, his family. He wishes he could cut loose and overcome. Why does Cody expect respect when he does nothing to cultivate it in his family, and when he crudely disrespects them every chance he gets? You want respect, you gotta give respect. Does he not understand what a slap in the face that lovely jewel of a comment was to his wives and kids when he referred to them as obstacles to his goals in life? Cody wants his quote unquote sacrifices he perceives he makes for the family to be put on a pedestal, and he only gives crumbs nobody wanted or needed in the first place, as the wives dedicated and sacrificed most of their adult lives. They sacrificed for this family. Most of their life they sacrificed to live this way and to put the family first. When we think of a Thanksgiving dinner, The wives, Janelle, Mary, and Christine, bring the turkey and the stuffing and the gravy and the mashed potatoes and the cornbread and the mac and cheese and the green bean casserole and the pumpkin pie. They bring the whole damn feast to the family in terms of their sacrifice and dedication to Team Brown. What does Cody bring? What does he offer? I'd say he brings the equivalent of the canned cranberry sauce no one eats or pushes to the edge of their plate. It adds nothing of substance to the meal. It's not integral to that feast. Cody is the canned cranberry sauce at this point, and he wants everyone to focus on that can-shaped blob of goo. He wants praise and adoration for that mess. He wants everyone's eyes diverted to that bullshit so that we ignore the main components, the real sacrifice made in the Brown family, the sacrifices of Cody's wives, Janelle and Mary, and his ex-wife, Christine. I'd say the canned cranberry sauce pales in comparison to the turkey and the stuffing. Comparing the sacrifices of Cody's wives to Cody's sacrifices is akin to comparing apples to oranges, and that's plain to see. So let's get into this episode, season 17, episode 4, and then there were 3. The episode starts with Christine. She just got home from Utah, where she was with McKelty as baby Avalon was born. Christine is blown away with Tony as a father. She says it's exactly what a mom wants to see. A mom wants to see her daughter's husband obsessing about her children, and Tony is. Now Christine needs to tell the wives she is leaving, and she wants to figure out co-parenting the kids and how they will handle it now that she's leaving. Cody meets with Janelle, who has some big news for Cody. Cody explains they bought Coyote Pass 3 years ago, and he still plans on building out there and living out there. But this thing with Christine telling him that she's leaving and kicking him out of the house could put a wrench in their plans on what they will do with Coyote Pass. Personally, I think Cody has no intention or deep desire to want to build on Coyote Pass and live there. I think he prefers to build rentals or use it as some type of investment property since there aren't enough rentals in the area and Cody sees dollar signs. He's mentioned it before and his wives shut him down. Seasons ago, when the Browns moved to Vegas, Cody aspired to be a real estate guru. He had big dreams and he probably thinks now is his chance. Why would he really invest in building homes for the people he views as the obstacles to his goals in life on that land? Does he even have the money to build? It seems like it's been 3 years and they still haven't gotten Coyote Pass paid off. Now, rumor has it that Christine sold her parcel of land on Coyote Pass to Robin and Cody for just $10. I didn't verify it. I don't know that it's 100% true. Even if something's in People magazine, it doesn't mean it's the truth. But if Cody uses the excuse that Christine delayed him building or threw a monkey wrench into that process to make up for the stagnation in the building of the homes for his family, he's lying and deflecting as usual. If Cody uses Christine's departure as an excuse for anything in his life or environment, or as an excuse for all of the world's ills, it's a lie. Cody meets with Janelle in his Karen soccer mom getup with that ridiculous sun visor on to try and camouflage that his hairline starts a third of the way past where his scalp begins. But the wind is kicking up, unfortunately, and that bald area is on full display. His hair looks terrible. He should just cut it. Anything would look better than this. But as the patriarch of the family, if this man wants to look ridiculous, that's his decision, and he knows best. His standards are sky high, and no one is capable enough to meet them. So in Cody's mind, his hair is the best, and he must really like it if he continues to keep it that way. I'm sure in Cody's mind, men wish they had his hair. Men wish they had his Karen sun visor. In fact, Karen sun visors are sold out in the stores because Cody started a trend. I'm sure men get jealous of Cody, wishing they could be the Cody Brown. They throw out their hair conditioner. They toss it in the wind. They don't need hair conditioner. They want their hair dry and brittle, like straw and frail, bleached to the ends of the earth, just like Cody. Cody doesn't need to condition his strands, and neither do they. Anyways, Cody and Janelle talk, and her landlord is selling the house that she's renting, and it's a really good deal. Janelle loves it. It would be easy to stay, but if she were to get this mortgage, it would cost money that she could put towards building, and she wants to start now rather than wasting her money on a mortgage. Cody would rather build than buy, he says. Janelle will have to live in a trailer for a few months. She wants to figure out the property lines and where they will build and how she will finance. Janelle wants to build something small to be in around 6 months. Cody tells Janelle their biggest struggle in building and financing is getting the property lines, and it requires paying off the land first. They originally planned to buy 2 lots on Coyote Pass, and they ended up buying 4 lots, and now they're trying to reconfigure those 4 lots into 5 lots, and in doing that, they have to pay off the property and survey the land, and they have to change the lot lines. And then Janelle can have a lot to start building. Cody doesn't know what will happen to the property with Christine leaving. Cody wonders, will Christine give the property to them? Will they have to buy the property from her? Will Christine sell the property? Cody doesn't know. Cody tells Janelle he doesn't know how they're going to do it. And Janelle has to leave her property in 2 months. She has nowhere to live. And it's easier to buy a home than to find another rental in this market, her realtor says. Cody says in confessional that it would be easy for Janelle to find a rental, easier than it was for himself and Robin to find a rental. When he and Robin looked, they found tons of rentals, just not one big enough. Cody feels it's much easier for Janelle to find a rental than for Robin because Janelle only has to house Savannah. Janelle doesn't get it. She says Cody is always twisted up about this thing. She says she doesn't have a house, so she thinks she should buy an RV or a trailer. She can live there and pour all of her resources into building. Janelle found the RV she wants, and there is one left of the model she wants in the whole entire country. And Janelle is buying it. Cody reveals he was afraid of this. In confessional, Cody says, many moons ago, he and Janelle lived in a tiny mobile home when Logan was a baby. Cody doesn't see the benefit in this other than they will be living where they are building and it'll be motivational. But Cody is still thinking, can't they give renting a chance? Janelle reveals that she already made a down payment today, and Cody looks shocked. Janelle says it's the only RV left in the country in the model she likes, and Cody tells her it's a good idea, but you can tell inside he is pissed. His arms are crossed. Apparently, there is a camper shortage right now. Now, Cody asks if at no cost they will ship the trailer to Utah, and they will. And Janelle asks Cody if his truck can haul the trailer. And Cody says no, his truck can't haul 15,000 pounds. They have to buy something to haul the trailer in the next week or 2. Cody asks if Janelle is committed to this all the way. Janelle says if not, she could potentially lose her money. Cody tells Janelle it's hard. In confessional, Cody says, it's one of those things where he wonders, do I want to live in an RV? Will this work for us? Cody says Janelle is already doing it. She is making the choice, but it's not their choice as a couple. Janelle didn't consult Cody. It's Janelle's choice alone. Janelle tells Cody she wakes up every morning at 2 a.m. with a panic attack. She's excited about the adventure, but she wonders, what is she doing? She could stay in town and buy that house, but then it's the same old, same old. Janelle wants to be bold. She wants to take a risk, and she wants to do this because then she thinks the property happens. And Cody just says yeah to that. He doesn't seem too supportive. He seems unwilling to help Janelle right now at all with hauling the trailer. In confessional, he seems pissed. He seems frustrated that he wasn't consulted and that Janelle did this alone as her choice without him. In confessional, Cody says, this is all being executed without a plan because Janelle wants an RV. She wanted that RV and it was the only RV and she had to buy it. Janelle tells Cody she is willing to do it and so is Savannah, but she wants to see progress on the building. Savannah says she can't live there unless she knows it's temporary. Cody asks next, what about the boys? What about Gabe and Garrison? His sons, Gabe and Garrison, Cody was wishing he was on the lease for so that he could evict them episodes ago. He wanted them out. He wishes he had the power to evict them in recent episodes. But now, all of a sudden, he asks, well, what about the boys? To try and use that as a way to possibly manipulate Janelle into shifting her focus to what he prefers, a rental. An episode ago, Cody wanted the boys kicked out. Now, because housing the boys would mean Janelle not getting the RV and getting a rental instead, Cody is concerned, what about the boys? What about the boys? He wished he could evict days and weeks ago. What about the boys? Janelle tells Cody Gabe is finding an apartment and Garrison will just pull his trailer out on the land. Cody sighs at this. In confessional, Cody says he's being supportive and Janelle is excited about this and it seems okay, but when he thinks about it step by step, he thinks it's nuts. Cody tells Janelle they have work to do. Janelle says this is starting them. Instead of out of sight, out of mind, it's opening a door. It opened the door. It blew the door wide open. Janelle asks if Cody will stay with her in the trailer. And Cody says, oh yeah, it sounds like a luxury vacation, sarcastically. Cody wants to try to paint Janelle as impulsive and ridiculous for getting the trailer just because it was the only one left and she wanted it. Janelle isn't impulsive, especially with money. She is incredibly financially astute and business-minded. Of all of the adults in the family, she is probably the most financially aware, I would say. Janelle is always the one who gets the dollars and cents. She is the most practical of all the adults in the family. If Janelle decides she wants this trailer, good for her. And I think what Janelle wants is to make progress on the land. She wants to ensure that it starts happening quickly. She wants to feel like they are past the point of stagnation and that they're making progress. And for Janelle, getting the trailer and moving it out on the land symbolizes a start to the building, a catalyst, a motivation to get it done and get it done quickly. And Cody seems to be shitting bricks right now because I don't think he's fully committed to the land. He is comfortable with this stagnation. He wants the stagnation to continue. He doesn't seem to have the money to pay off the land so he can complete the surveying and submit the new property lines and get the land formally rezoned so he can then handle the water and power and the excavation of the land to begin building. It's quite a process. It's lengthy. It's expensive. There's a lot of bureaucracy and paperwork. And Cody already has the mansion with Robin. He doesn't seem too enthusiastic about building. I think his dream would be to sell the land or to build an investment property instead. And Janelle is making this move mean that they have to start building soon. And I think Janelle is calling Cody's bluff. I don't think that she really thinks Cody intends to build. And I think she is invested in them building and in the family. And if Cody doesn't start moving at her pace, if he continues to bury his head in the sand, eventually she will leave him. And if he continues behaving like he has a screw loose in an unwell manner and he continues on with this dictatorship kick, my guess is Janelle will definitely leave him and so will Mary. And that's exactly what Cody wants. But Cody isn't man enough to do this in a dignified way. He doesn't respect his family enough to be a man and be honest with his family. He would rather hurt them and damage them and abuse them and manipulate them to burn every bridge so they leave him and it's not on him. But when Cody is old and alone and withered to nothing but skin and bones, and he calls his exes and he calls his kids who no longer speak with him, and he wants them around him in his last days, no one will have time for him. He can't patch this up later. There isn't enough spackle in the world to fix it. Cody even suggests to Mary in the preview for the next episode that she can live at her inn. He bought land he can't afford. He bought a mansion with his goblin that he can't afford. He has a nanny he can't afford. And I doubt he makes enough from the gun shows and the fifth of the TLC paycheck to cover all of his finances. Cody seems very concerned with his coins of late. He seems worried that Christine will take him to the cleaners with a new man. He's worried about money. He's worried about greed. How will he keep Goblin living in the lifestyle she has grown accustomed to? Why haven't they paid off the land in 3 years? Could it be because he bought his Goblin $1 million mansion? Maybe if she were willing to take a rental with less than 5 bedrooms, they would have begun building by now. This is the patriarch who wants to lead, who does things impulsively without thinking about the dollars and cents. A man who buys land he has to run electricity through and water through, that he has to excavate and rezone and pay off just to begin building. This is a man who seems to owe money like crazy with no backup plan. I wonder if maybe Goblin will get a job other than filming. This is a guy who buys his Goblin a mansion, and now he is shitting bricks because Janelle will move into the RV onto the land and she will want progress on the land. And Kotex has no coins to pay off the land to even start the building process. He has to do so many things: the surveying, the blueprints, the permits, excavating the land, removing the trees and the rocks, running the water and the power. It's unending. In confessional, Cody says, the funny thing in plural marriage is a wife works with you or against you. See the mentality that Cody has? If a wife isn't bending the knee to his way, if she expects compromise or she questions, or if she has a different view, that wife becomes against him, his enemy, his opponent. And he asks things like, whatever happened to Team Brown? Cody says he and Janelle are teammates sometimes and other times not. He says Christine was fairly compliant. Then when they decided they wouldn't move to Utah and Christine wanted to move to Utah, she suddenly became very independent, moving to Utah. Cody always thought Mary worked with him fairly well. Cody says Robin's whole goal when she entered the family was to become a part of this whole family and to work together with the family. Cody gets a feeling, though, through this whole experience, that each wife has a breaking point where they just aren't going to put up with what another wife's needs are anymore. And then they go do their own thing. And Janelle has done that before. Now, when Cody says teammates and this wife worked well with me, what he means is this wife submitted to me. They bent the knee. They obeyed me. They didn't question me. They were convenient. They didn't oppose me. They didn't ask me to compromise. They did what I wanted with zero inconvenience to me and zero pushback. They were compliant. I was the authority. With Cody, teammates and working with him means blind submission with no compromise asked for and complete agreement. Cody says Janelle was submissive at times, others not. Now, there was a time she left Cody. Christine was compliant, but when she wanted to move to Utah and the group did not, she broke off. And Cody doesn't seem to want a team working together. He wants to dictate what the group will do with no compromise at all from him, and he wants his wives to submit without question. He doesn't want a democracy. He wants a dictatorship. He wants to be the only deciding factor and the only voice heard. That's not democracy. That's not leadership. That's a dictatorship. It's interesting that Cody says Robin wanted to work together with the family when she entered into it. When she came into the family, Robin's priority was her husband and their marriage. And the rest of the adults in the family still prioritized the family, and they still do. Cody gravitated towards also prioritizing Robin over the family because it fed his ego. Robin was convenient. She submitted to him. And the group no longer prioritized the same thing, the family and the group over the self when Robin came in because she prioritized Cody. And that's when things began to unravel. Cody doesn't want his wives to be about the family and the team. Cody wants his wives to be about him and prioritizing him and obeying him as he calls the shots and they bend the knee. And that's not what's best for the team. That's what's best for Cody, the self-proclaimed alpha male patriarch. In a system with 4 women and 1 man, the only way it will function in a somewhat healthy manner is a true democracy with compromise from everyone, where every member is equal and every voice is heard and considered. And ideally, it would actually be more of a matriarchy. There are 4 women and 1 man, and that man is not playing with a full deck. He doesn't have the critical thinking skills or the executive function or the decision-making skills to lead. And just the idea that he verbally says he is the patriarch, he declares it, that he will lead from now on. And those who submit, he will be around, and those who don't, he will not reward by being a present father and husband. Just that shows just how unqualified Cody is, not only to lead, but to be a father and a husband. A true leader doesn't demand obedience and respect by force. A true leader gets respect because the people he leads feel respect and feel faith in the leader based on the leader's actions, based on the leader's character. And they have faith in the leader's ability to reason and think and decide for the group in the best interests of the family, of all the people in the family. And not only in the best interests of himself and what suits his convenience and the people he favors most. In my opinion, Cody doesn't have what it takes to lead. He can't even see past his own ego or delusions at this time. And I don't think he ever will. Cody complains to Janelle that there's a lot to do. And Janelle tells Cody, like she said, it blows the door open. So now they have to start building. Cody says if Janelle has the RV, then they don't have to worry immediately about getting a home. Janelle says they can wait for the permit to go through the process and all that. And Cody says he has PTSD from the last time they had to move. It was crazy, and it's driving him nuts that this is happening over and over and over. Wow, wow, wow. Take a Midol. He has PTSD from moving, really? He is the one that forced everyone to move from Utah when there was no threat. Then he pushed the move to Flagstaff, probably for Robin's sake, because Dayton got accepted in college there, coincidentally, around the time he pushed the move. And now he complains about his PTSD. What about his wives and kids? Look how hard and traumatic the move to Vegas was, and then now to Flagstaff, and he's saying he has PTSD. He did say one true thing, though, that he is nuts. I'm glad he knows he's nuts. And now maybe he will go get help for it. Janelle ignores Cody's dramatics, and she tells Cody there are no storage units in town, and Cody tells her that they will figure it out. In confessional, Janelle says she tells Cody stuff and she doesn't think he listens. She told him about this and he was surprised by it, and she says she tells him stuff and he dismisses it like whatever. Janelle says in confessional she told Cody about this and he was like, what? You're buying a trailer? What? When she has mentioned it before. I wanted to say that I loved Janelle's turquoise earrings in her confessional scene. She looked gorgeous and her eyes popped, and all she was wearing was a plain black sweater and natural makeup and those turquoise earrings. Janelle really looked so pretty in those confessional scenes, and turquoise really is her color. Those earrings were perfect for her. I love them. Christine is up next, and she mentions she had a super infuriating phone call. She's understandably frustrated in confessional, and she says they got back home right into the mix of things, and her relationship with Cody is bad. Christine says school is back in session and everybody can now choose to go back to school. And Isabel would like to go back to school for senior year. They flash back to the video chat from hell. Christine tells Cody she wants Isabel to go back to school, but Christine tells Cody she doesn't know what that means. If that means that Cody can't come over because Isabel is attending school in person. And Christine says Cody is hinting and hemming and hawing, and he asks Brianna not to go back to school in person. But he didn't bother to ask Isabel not to go back to school. He didn't even talk to Isabel about it. So for Brianna, he took the time to speak with her about not going back to school. They communicated about it. They had conversations. But with Isabel, he didn't bother even talking to her. He just told her it was fine for her to go back to school without letting her know he won't come around if she makes that choice, which that's very unfair to put on a child. So Cody wants to be around Brianna enough that he talked to her about it to make the choice not to go to school. With Isabel, he didn't seem to care. He told her it was fine to go back, as if he wasn't interested in seeing her. They didn't even discuss it. In confessional, Cody says he has no idea why Christine is so upset by the idea of Isabel going back to school. She isn't upset by the idea that Isabel is going back to school. She is upset that one child gets talked to by Cody and communicated with regarding school and what it would mean for them to choose to do in-person school. But with another child, with Isabel, Cody doesn't mind not having to see her, and he doesn't take the time to talk to her the way he took the time to speak with Brianna. Cody doesn't seem to mind if Isabel goes back to school. But with Brianna, he was able to communicate, to spend time, to explain the implications of her going back to school, even though I disagree with telling a child if they decide to attend school in person and have that socialization, that he, as a father, will no longer be able to be present and invested at all. He even will be too inconvenienced by sitting outside 6 feet apart, socially distanced, per his rules apparently, because the cold is too bothersome for him. He's too fragile. Cody doesn't treat all of his kids fairly and equally. He seems to have one set of standards and one set of investment levels with one set of kids, and then different standards and investment levels and attention and effort given to the rest of his kids. It's very cruel and unfair, and it's very toxic, and the kids deserve much better than what Cody is capable of giving. Cody says he and Robin made this agreement with Brianna. In the video chat, he says he specifically asked Brianna and Solomon not to go back to school. Cody says Christine has been doing a completely different thing in her home. She has been traveling. She's been doing things. She's been out and about. And this is Isabel's senior year. So Cody doesn't see why Christine is mad. He says he is just saying it's fine if Isabel goes to school. Christine says she would have thought Cody would call Isabel to say, hey, I'd prefer you not to go back to school in person. Can we talk about this a little bit? But Cody never even talked to Isabel. Christine says Isabel has to choose between her dad or her friends, as if she can't have both. And Christine says it's not true and it's not up to Isabel. Christine says Cody is making this choice. He is choosing not to be there. Exactly. Cody says Christine is complaining like he is never there anyways, and so Isabel can go to school then. Cody is disengaging from the kids who don't blindly obey him, who are inconvenient for him. He disengages from the kids and is an absent father with the kids whose mom he doesn't have a good relationship with. If he doesn't have a good relationship with a wife, with the mother of his kids, he then extends his bad relationship with a wife and a mother to their kids. For Cody, being a father and a husband isn't a given permanent full-time job. He punishes with absence, and he is present and engaged as a reward for compliance and obedience to what he wants. Those in the family who are compliant and convenient, Cody rewards by engaging as a husband and a father. And those who are inconvenient, who want compromise, who refuse to blindly obey, who question, he punishes with his absence and disengagement. Being a present, invested, engaged father and a husband is not a reward for good behavior. And Cody's egregious behavior just shows his character and how unqualified he is to lead, in my opinion. It's not appropriate or acceptable to only choose to be a father and a husband to those who obey and submit, those who stroke his ego and make it convenient. Cody is punishing Isabel for not prioritizing him, and he is punishing Christine through the way he treats his kids with her. It's very manipulative and abusive and damaging and cruel. I've always said the adult wives can decide what they will accept or won't accept and what they deserve, but the children can't ever change who they were born to. They can't decide as children that they deserve better from their father and leave if it's less than what they deserve, if it's a parent who is not giving them what they deserve as children. The worst part of Cody's disgusting behavior is the damaging effects to his children, who are getting less than they deserve from Cody as a parent. Kids don't deserve abuse and manipulation. They deserve more than conditional love and phoning it in for good behavior, for maybe a few sporadic hours a week. They deserve more than to be treated poorly by the father because the father wants to punish the mother. Cody says Isabel wants to see her friends more anyways, and he didn't create this problem. He says, don't be mad at me because I've got standards. Kotex, the patriarch, keeps talking about his high standards everyone fails to meet. It's not high standards. The bar of standards is in a cesspool of cow manure at the ranch in Wyoming, so deep in the toxic sludge, nobody can pull the damn thing out. Cody doesn't have standards. Cody has hoops he expects everyone to jump through to please him. He says he didn't create this problem. Yes, he did. He manufactured it intentionally to be able to justify in his own mind living as he wants to live without having to deal with his obligations that he no longer wants to be tied to. He said himself his family are obstacles to his goals in life. Cody made the choice that if his kids do what he wants and stay home, he will see them. If not, if they attend school, they have to choose friends or him. He wants to force people to choose him so he can feel like the big man, the leader. If he is forcing their hands and they aren't picking him from their heart and he is making them make impossible, unfair, irrational choices, it's meaningless. They aren't prioritizing Cody out of love and admiration. They are being manipulated. Cody is trying to force their hand in choosing him, when that should never be a choice any child or wife should have to make. But for Cody and his ego, if his wives and kids pick him over living life or him over attending school, in his mind, it would mean he has power and he is all important because Cody is sick. He gets off on control. He gets off on power. And it's not Cody's kids making a choice, picking school over him. It's not a reasonable choice any sane adult would put on their child under any circumstances. Isabel did not pick school over her father. Cody is the one who made the choice to create hoops for everyone to jump through. School or me. Because Cody wants to feel validated. He wants to uphold his ego as the ultimate authority. Anyone who will not validate him as the ultimate authority, anyone who will not make that irrational decision and unfair choice to pick him above all else, he wants to punish. Pick me and I'll come around. Pick other things and I will cleave you off. This is Cody making the choice to only be there for those who obey and stroke his ego, or to be absent for those who don't obey as punishment for not picking him. Cody seems to think that he can condition his family and teach them a lesson to always pick him, or else he will punish them by disengaging and being absent as a father and a husband. And it's abusive and it's manipulative and it's disgusting. Being a present father and a husband is not a reward, and this is not on his kids, and this is not on his wives. The choice isn't in their hands. The fault isn't on them. Cody is the one choosing. Cody is making it all or nothing. Cody is choosing not to be there. The truth is, he can be there for all his kids, whether they attend in-person school or not, whether they travel or not. Cody is choosing not to be there. He is the one making the choice. And it's not Isabel making that choice. It's not a fair position to put his kids in. And Cody knows full well he can be there. And Cody is making the choice not to be there as a parent and a husband. None of his wives and kids' choices or decisions have anything at all to do with Cody's choice to not be there. This is all Cody's choice. He has no right whatsoever to put this on his wives and kids. Cody has a brain. I don't know if it's wired right, but he has a brain and a mind. He has free will. He has a conscience. He has a moral compass. And only he can decide to use those tools to think critically and make rational decisions. But Cody doesn't seem to be playing with a full deck. And he can say all he wants that this is Isabel's decision, a child's decision to pick school over her father. But it's Cody's choice not to be there. It's Cody's choice to dictate all or nothing. It's Cody's choice to abuse and manipulate. And it's Cody's choice to fail to compromise. The choice is in Cody's hands, not in the hands of his wives and kids. And Cody should feel ashamed at the lack of respect and decency he has towards his family. Christine says part of her would love it if Cody talked to Isabel and said, "Don't go back to school. I want to see you and spend time with you." But another part of her knows that's not fair to Isabel. She should be able to go to school and be with her friends. And Christine knows if she talks to Cody, they will go around in circles without finding a solution. And in the end, Cody will hang out with them outside. And Christine hopes he does. But even when that was an option, he was only doing it a couple of times a week. Cody complains in confessional that he goes there and he hangs out with Truly and Isabel a little bit, and then they go to bed while he is still there. He seems irritated in his tone that they go to bed before he leaves. Maybe if Cody came around enough, he would know their routine and their schedule, and he would understand what time Truly and Isabel need to head to bed, rather than being frustrated that they go to sleep while he is there. They probably get annoyed by him and want an out, because my guess is Cody isn't pleasant and sprinkles and rainbows most of the time when he graces Truly and Isabel with his presence. He's a moody guy. He's a bitter guy. He's unhappy. He's resentful. How much are Truly and Isabel going to want to hang out with their dad, who they can tell doesn't want to be there, who treats them as a chore, and who also treats their mom like shit? Christine says Isabel is moving to North Carolina, and so Cody is missing out on this time with Isabel. This is Cody's loss. He will never get this time back. Cody says Isabel will benefit more to have a lot more exposure with her friends senior year in person, in class, in school, than from spending time with him. Cody says Isabel will be fine and he will be there for Isabel when she needs him. She can call him any time. It's not Isabel's responsibility as Cody's kid to have to run after him and call him to foster the connection and maintain the relationship. Why isn't Cody, as the adult father, calling her? It's up to Cody as the father of all of his kids, whether they are minors or grown, to keep in touch to maintain the bond and the connections. It's his responsibility to keep up and foster the relationship and grow all of the father-child relationships, even with the adult kids. Cody doesn't seem to get that. After all, he is emotionally lazy, and communicating with 18 kids 3 wives and 1 ex-wife regularly would be far too inconvenient for him. When Cody is alone and gray and withered to skin and bones, sitting in his soccer mom getup on Coyote Pass, he will wish he inconvenienced himself. He will wish he communicated. He will wish he compromised. But it's going to be far too late. Christine says Isabel is going back to school and Cody isn't coming over again. And she hasn't told all the moms about her leaving yet. Christine wanted to tell them all a while ago, but it hasn't worked out. Christine is nervous. She is okay. She is sad. She doesn't know how it will go. Janelle says she has done something impulsive, which is out of her nature. It's really big and she can't believe she did it. She is having everyone over to tell them she bought a trailer. Cody complains that there are thorn bushes and the wives correct him that they are raspberries. The last time Cody was in Janelle's garden, he also misidentified something that she was growing. For being a rancher into farm work and the outdoors, Cody really doesn't seem to know all that much. Janelle wants to surprise everyone. Everyone sits down and she mentions she has exciting news to tell the group. It's exciting, it's terrifying. And Cody mentions Janelle is the only one who would call this exciting. Janelle reveals she has to be out of this rental by June 30th. Mary has a homebody shirt on. She seems to love phrases on her shirts, it seems. She had a shirt on that said no one cares. I've seen her in other shirts with phrases on them. She seems really big about it. I wonder if Lula Crap is really big on the phrase shirts. Cody has a button-down shirt with a flannel over it unbuttoned. It's a very interesting look. Janelle announces that she bought a fifth wheel and she is moving out onto the property in that fifth wheel. Mary explains a fifth wheel is a trailer that you pull with a truck. Christine says she would never do this. It sounds like her definition of absolute hell. But she says Janelle has always wanted the rural, living off the land experience. They flash back to Janelle in past seasons. Janelle says in 2011, she loves camping. She likes it a lot, and she used to camp a lot more when she was younger. In 2012, when the family took that hellish RV trip, Christine explains that she and Robin will stay in hotels, and Janelle and Mary will stay in RVs. Janelle thought she would have to fight for it, and she got the RV, and she was super happy about that. Next, in 2017, when they were moving from Vegas to Flagstaff, Cody tells Mary he is with her if she wants an RV, and she's going to park it out on the property. And Janelle says she wants an RV, and she asks, why am I in a rental? She says she would live in an RV, and she is high-key jealous of Mary and her idea to live in an RV on Coyote Pass. Janelle tells Mary she is living her dream. Christine says Janelle has always wanted to do this. Janelle says it's a nice fifth wheel with 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Christine says it seems so crazy, and she wonders if it seems crazy only to her. Mary says if Janelle wants to do that, she should do it. But Mary points out she would never do it herself. Robin says it sounds miserable. Janelle could qualify on a mortgage for her rental, but she would rather put that money into building. So she bought the fifth wheel sight unseen. She called the dealership. Christine laughs about sight unseen. Mary says she would never buy anything sight unseen. What about her catfish? She never saw Sam, the man of her dreams, in real life or on video chat, and she was ready to move with him and leave the family. Mary admits she does shop online though. In confessional, Janelle says she is jumping without a parachute because she wants to build on the property. And she feels like if she is on the property and it's in her face every day and she is focusing all her resources there, she can make it happen. Janelle tells the group she could qualify for a mortgage on the house she is renting, but then it would tie her here and she would have no ability to do anything else. Mary asks how long Janelle thinks this is going to last. And Janelle says she thinks they will start building in 2, 3, or 4 months. Cody laughs at this. He knows they're not going to start building for a long time. They still have to pay off the land. It's been 3 years and they still haven't paid it off. Janelle is planning on living in the RV for a year. Cody hopes they will start building and that Janelle could have a casita finished on the property by December. Christine says winters out by the property are brutal, but she needs to be supportive. But still, she keeps in mind and she knows how brutal the winters are. Janelle says she is moving in May and she thinks it'll be fun. Mary isn't sure why Janelle is trying to pump them up about the excitement because it's not like they are living with her there, unless Janelle feels like she needs to be validated or something because Cody isn't backing her all the way. But Mary says it's not like the olden days where they all used to live together and they had to be in agreement to live in this RV with her because that isn't happening. Janelle says she always wanted to put a bathroom out on the property. And Janelle says now fire pits will be more fun because she'll have an RV there, she'll have a bathroom there, 2 bathrooms. Mary says Janelle has been talking about putting a bathroom out there anyways. So this is just like a really expensive outhouse. And she and the producer laugh at that. I want to compliment Mary here. Eggplant is a really pretty color on her and she had a simple amethyst necklace on and it really popped. She had natural makeup. I think that plum color really suits Mary. Janelle tells the group it's time to be bold, to make the property happen. Otherwise, they would all sit in their houses, in their rentals, and keep doing what they are doing. Janelle isn't saying that they should all get RVs and do this with her, and she is going to do this, but everyone seems like, okay, kind of dismissive, kind of unimpressed, like, oh, okay. And Janelle says she is going to have fun. Cody says they have some struggles. They don't have electricity. Janelle doesn't have water yet. For the sewer, though, they have a service that will come out because Janelle can't drive the trailer. And Janelle has to buy a truck specifically to pull the thing. And she has to have a 1-ton truck to be able to pull this trailer. Christine asks if Cody's truck can pull it, but his car can't. Christine suggests maybe her car can, but it has to be a 1-ton truck. Cody laughs in confessional. He says Janelle bought a cart without a horse. His truck is way too small to pull her huge trailer. Christine says she just knows Cody has a wussy truck. Alpha males usually drive beasts. They have lifted trucks. They do all kinds of custom modifications. They really take pride in their trucks. They make sure they're the biggest, baddest truck you can fucking have. They want to like assert that they're an alpha male with their vehicle. And Cody seems to have a wussy truck. So I think that's an interesting observation when he's a self-proclaimed alpha male. Janelle is very enthused and she wants everyone to be enthused with her. And she says they can have cookouts at her house on the property. And now there is a bathroom. Mary jokes that Janelle can find some plastic plants that don't need watering. Everyone is kind of ridiculing the idea and laughing. Cody says this is a dumb idea, even though it's exciting. Cody says even in the cramped fifth wheel, it feels like a big step in the right direction. Rather than buying this place, Cody doesn't want this place. He hasn't enjoyed living there in Janelle's rental. Cody thinks the fifth wheel on their land and stepping out and seeing their land and the view, it's in their face all the time and it will motivate them. Christine says she has no intention of living on the property and she needs to tell everybody and the adults that she doesn't want her piece of property. She says it's additional stress she doesn't have in her life. Cody wants the ladies in all of their prayers and thoughts to get some energy behind the idea of paying this place off right away. He wants them to go through their creative thoughts to see where God guides them to accomplish this goal. It's important, he says. Christine says the next conversation they will have as the 5 adults will be different than this. It'll be heavy. She is telling them she is leaving Cody and that she's moving to Utah. All of the sister wives are coming over and Cody's coming over, and Christine is telling her sister wives she is leaving Cody. Everyone is going to come over and sit outside 6 feet apart since they can only sit outside per Cody's rules. And it won't be a surprise to any of them that she's leaving, Christine says. Cody thinks her leaving is private, and right now she only wants her sister wives and Cody to know, so they will film this scene with their phones. Christine needs this to stay private. It's a hard thing, and she wants a bubble for the 5 of them to hear it and think about this. Christine says she has needed to talk about this for a long time, and with Janelle needing to move out of her house, now is the right time. She says she and Cody have been in a rough spot for a long time. It's no secret. And she says she has decided to leave Cody. There's silence, and Christine says it's a hard decision, but she needs to make a choice for happiness and to have joy in her life and peace. And there hasn't been a lot of hope at all until she decided to leave. And she feels strongly that this is the best choice for her. Robin frustratedly mentions that she was so worried that this was what Christine wanted to talk about. She dabs her eyes. There are 0 tears though. And she says she knew Christine packed Cody's stuff, but she didn't know how final it was or if it was just a break or something. Christine tells Robin, no, it's final. In confessional, Robin, with her ridiculous sausage curls, says she is just in shock. She doesn't know what to say here. She doesn't know what to say to Christine. She says it's really not computing. It's just not making sense right now. She just doesn't know what to say. In confessional, Mary says this is just a big announcement. She doesn't even know. She is just processing at this point. Janelle says she intellectually has known this was coming, but here we are today, and it's hard to know something and then to have it actually happening. Christine reveals next that she is moving to Utah, and she asks Janelle if she wants to run her house. Mary says it's a lot all of a sudden. Cody asks Christine, is that why you had to have this discussion with your sister wives because of Janelle's need to move? And Christine says Janelle's need to move, and she has been looking for the perfect timing, and there is no perfect timing. Mary says this isn't something where there is ever a good time. Christine says with Janelle saying she had to move, she felt she should have done this a month ago. Janelle tells Christine this isn't a surprise. She and Christine have talked about her leaving many times. And Christine also texted something to Janelle's kids. And she also said something. Janelle hoped something would change, but her biggest concern is the kids and what happens now with them. Christine says the kids are the hardest part, of course. She says the relationships the kids have with each other will still be great. She thinks that this is still family. It will just look different. Mary adds that when a family splits up, it's really just not that easy. Mary says in confessional, from her perspective, probably because she has very black and white thinking and a black and white personality, if women are not married to the same man, then you are not a sister wife anymore. Mary has no idea what this all means. She can't project herself into the future right now and try to imagine what will happen or what it will look like. Janelle tells Christine she can't imagine after 30 years how this looks. Christine asks, as far as raising the kids goes, and Janelle says everything. She tells Christine she has been the fabric of everything. See, Christine is the heart of the family. Janelle says Christine is front and center in all of her memories, even going way, way back. Christine was the person who took care of her kids while she worked. Janelle says there is so much history there. It's been years. It's been decades. So to Janelle, it's like Christine is as big a part of her world as Cody is. Robin asks if Cody and Christine are sure. She asks Christine if she is really sure, and Robin says that's what's so weird for her. And Christine says, yeah, she's sure. In confessional, Robin says she has been through a divorce and she knows what this means. They aren't just talking about 3 kids and a husband and a wife. This is 18 kids, spouses, grandbabies, and 5 adults all connected and committed to each other and married. And she wonders, do you even understand what you're saying? She's looking at Cody wondering if he will let this happen. She's looking at Christine wondering if Christine is sure. And she's wondering, do they know what this means? Because Robin knows, and she knows it on a smaller level with just a monogamous couple and 3 kids. And she says it was absolute hell for years, and it's still hard for her kids. Divorce is difficult. Divorce is hard. But notice how Robin is making this about her and her experience and her kids, and she's projecting her experience onto Christine and the family, assuming it will be the same thing. She is worried about what she, Cody, and her kids will go through as a result of Christine leaving. She doesn't seem too worried about Christine's well-being and happiness or the kids' well-being. She seems more concerned for how it will affect her and her kids and Cody. Janelle asks, how do we unravel something that's been together for so long after so many years? And Christine says there isn't an unraveling, it will just look different. And Mary tells Christine it's not that easy. It doesn't just look different. It's more than that. Mary says she isn't happy with this situation. It makes her angry. She says in confessional when she married Cody and Janelle married Cody and Christine married Cody and Robin married Cody, each one of them made a commitment to each other, to all of them, that they would love each other, that they would respect each other, and that they would stick through it thick and thin and work these things out. Because Mary says, come on, you guys, can't we get our heads out of our butts? Yes, can't Mary get her head out of her butt? Mary is angry, in my opinion, because she knows she's accepting less than she deserves from her husband, and she is still staying even though she is unhappy and unfulfilled in her marriage with her husband. And she knows she will never be happy completely married to Cody. But she wants to stay for her own reasons, for the family, and that's Mary's choice. But Mary seems to be pissed that Christine won't accept an absent husband and a father just to stick with the family, the way Mary is willing to take less than she deserves from her husband to stick with the family. Janelle asks Christine if she moves to Utah, what about Truly? And Christine says Truly will be just fine. She will miss everybody and it's going to be hard taking Truly from Cody. It'll be hard. Janelle asks, Truly is never going to come back? Cody tells Christine she can't take Truly from him because they're going to have shared custody and it'll have to be 50-50. Cody only mentions Truly after Janelle brings it up first. It clearly wasn't Cody's priority. In confessional, Cody says he doesn't know how that works. He isn't going to sit here and have Christine do this without objecting to it and saying that they have to work something out for custody. He doesn't know what it looks like. They haven't discussed it. Christine tells Cody they talked about her moving. They talked about her taking Truly. Cody says he never said it was okay that she was moving. Christine just talked about moving. Christine says he did say it was okay that they were moving. She tells Cody they had a conversation about it. And Cody insists he never said it was okay that she moves. He never made a big deal about it. He just never answered that. And Christine never asked if she could move. Christine said she was moving. Christine tells Cody she told him she needed him to let her go. And he said, okay. Cody said he agreed. He said that, but Christine never told him the first time they talked about this that she would move. She just said, let me go. And she explained it. He heard it. He understood. But it doesn't mean that Christine can run with Truly and take Truly out of his life all of a sudden. In confessional, Cody says the whole issue is Christine, from the beginning of this, didn't ask him if he was okay not to stay at her house. She just told him not to. She didn't ask him if it was okay to move his stuff out. She just did it. She didn't ask him if it was okay to move to Utah and take Truly. She just told Cody she was doing it. Christine says she can't live in this limbo anymore. She says it's been limbo and it's been too painful. Cody insists he is going to have to be involved in Truly's life, and Christine can't actually stop him from being in Truly's life. So he doesn't know what her intention was in moving with Truly. Christine finds it ironic that now Cody wants to be involved in her kids' lives. Now that she is leaving, now he wants 50-50 time with them. She says, well, hell, he could have had 50-50 time with them the whole time they lived here. She says if Cody wanted 50-50, he should have been around more. He doesn't get 50-50. He hasn't been around enough for that. In my opinion, Cody wants to make it look like Christine is preventing him from being present and invested as a father to their kids. He wants to try to vilify Christine and make her look bad, as if she prevents him from being a good and present father. That's bullshit. That narrative is a whole lie. Cody was there for 3 full days out of 800 days. When he shows up for just a few hours here and there sporadically to phone it in, Cody's disengaged. He acts like he would prefer to be elsewhere when he's there. He creates tension. It's sporadic. And they lived right in Cody's backyard in Flagstaff. He didn't make the effort. Now that Christine wants to move, this guy wants to play act at being a father, the father of the year. This asshole couldn't show up for his daughter's major surgery. He couldn't help her move to North Carolina. He would not commit to it, disappointing Isabel yet again using bullshit reasons like, I wonder if gas stations are open, when he knows damn well he filled up his gas tank many times during the pandemic. Unless, of course, it's beneath him to fill up his car and he sends the nanny to do it. He disappointed Isabel again by saying he cannot see her if she attends school in person. Cody's a dick face who knows he's a shit human and a shit father and husband. He wants to try and present the narrative that Christine is the bad guy, the scorned woman getting back at him by preventing access to the kids, when he knows damn well he can drive, he can fly, he can take a train or take a bus to see Truly anytime he likes, and Christine will welcome him for her kids' sakes. Cody's an idiot, and the more he tries to vilify the mother of his kids that he treated like shit for years, the worse he looks. Cody knows he won't bother to see Truly when she moves. It's far too inconvenient for him. He couldn't see the kids regularly when they were local. He couldn't be fully invested when they lived right in his backyard. He presented a million hoops to jump through to see them. Being a father was a reward conditional on the kids' obedience to his whims. And Christine's kids are treated very differently from Robin's kids. And they feel that. And he hurt Isabel time and time again, making it clear she isn't high on his list of priorities. Cody's a pussy. He's a loser who doesn't show up to his kid's surgery, who makes her choose between school and friends or him. He's an idiot. He's manipulative and abusive and as scummy as they get. So he doesn't get now to play act at being a father of the year, behaving as though Christine is taking Truly away and he won't have access. He can have access anytime he likes to Truly or any of his kids. But Cody doesn't like to be inconvenienced. Cody manufactures hoops to jump through. He moves the goalposts constantly every time, making everything all or nothing with no compromise. He does it intentionally so he can feel personally justified in not being there doing what he should as a father and a husband. And then he deflects, blaming everyone but himself for his choice to not be present and do what he signed up for. Cody is a very selfish man. He's a very lazy man. He won't be inconvenienced. I want to see how often Cody makes the effort to visit Truly in Utah. I want to see what he sacrifices for Isabel. Last episode, he couldn't even see her outside because it was too cold for his tender constitution. Cody is a fucking joke, and he's pathetic, and he doesn't deserve a woman like Christine or the wonderful kids he has. I seriously don't know how he can watch the way he hurt Isabel regarding his absence at her major surgery and sleep at night, or how he can so easily hurt her again with her move to college. Cody is an absent father. He's abusive, he's manipulative, he's toxic AF. Even if we compare him to deadbeat dads from hell, this man would not be the best of the worst. Christine isn't keeping Truly from Cody. He can see her whenever he likes. But if he can't inconvenience himself with sitting in the cold to bond and connect with Isabel when she is 5 minutes away, my guess is he won't drive 8 hours to see Truly. This man isn't a father. He's a nuisance. A true father doesn't treat one set of kids different from the others. A true father who loves unconditionally doesn't manipulate and emotionally abuse his kids. A true father doesn't have conditions to his love, presence, and investment. In confessional, Cody says Christine is complaining about his presence as if he is never around, but she is in plural marriage, or she was, and she forgets what she signed up to be a part of. That's rich coming from Cody, the man who calls his family the obstacles to his goals in life. He forgets what he signed up for himself, but he wants to project it onto everyone else because he has no self-awareness whatsoever. He only knows how to project and deflect. He doesn't know how to own his choices and take accountability. Christine tells the group she sees herself moving with Truly in September to the Salt Lake City area, and they will figure out the holidays. They will figure out birthdays. They will figure it out. Notice that Christine is willing to discuss family events. She is willing to be there, or at least to have Truly there, or to compromise on some level. She isn't saying isn't interested in working out the family stuff and making an effort to be there or have her kids be there. Janelle worries about Truly and Saul and Ari and their relationship. Christine says the kids who Truly is closest to are Aspen and Mitch and McKelty and Tony and Peyton. She is closest to them. Janelle doesn't see how Truly would ever come back. She says in confessional that Cody might go see Truly, Cody might go get Truly, but Truly is not ever coming back for a long period of time. Christine says Truly is totally loved and accepted and adored by so many people, and Christine feels like having Truly in that environment would be really, really good for her. Janelle points out there would never be another Christmas. There would never be another anything. I really think that Christine's departure is going to hit Janelle the hardest and maybe the kids as well. In confessional, referring to Christine, Cody says, "What are you talking about? This is home." He says just because Christine has this urge to go to Utah, it's a little convoluted. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't know why Christine is feeling like she has to move because she gets to go see them all the time anyways. Christine says her leaving won't change the relationships her kids have with all of them. Robin tells Christine she is talking about the kids, but Robin asks if Christine wants to be done with the rest of the family. Christine says no. She thinks that they will have times when they are closer together and times when they are not, just like now. Next, Robin asks Christine if she wants to move out onto the property, and Christine says no. In confessional, Robin says she is still in shock a little bit. She is still trying to figure out what this exactly means for the family. The idea that Christine wouldn't be her sister wife feels wrong to her. If Robin all of a sudden cares about being a good sister wife and having Christine as her sister wife and having that relationship, why did Robin slam Christine last tell-all saying Christine didn't work hard enough and that she herself worked harder on her first marriage? Why did she give Cody the worst advice for Christine's best interests as her sister wife, that Cody should violate Christine's boundary and violate her safety in her own home, suggesting Cody should stay even though he wasn't wanted, and that Cody should insist to sleep there even on the couch, despite Christine verbally telling Cody not to stay and packing his shit up and putting all of his stuff out in the garage? Robin's advice still was that Cody should sleep at Christine's. No woman wants that. No woman wants to feel violated and unsafe. Yet Robin suggested, despite Christine's wishes, Cody should insist to stay and violate her boundaries, that he should stay there in the house, even though Christine clearly didn't want him there. Robin isn't Christine's sister wife at heart, or she would have looked out for Christine's best interests long ago. Now, Robin wants to say that she can't imagine not being Christine's sister wife. Everything is about Robin and her own self-interest and her feelings. She doesn't take a moment to consider Christine and her well-being and her feelings woman to woman, having been through a similar experience. Robin says she hasn't seen many positive experiences of the aftermath when a wife leaves a plural family, and it's scary to her. Mary doesn't feel Christine was very happy, even when they were living in Utah. She seemed angry and very reserved, and she knows how to put on a front. Mary doesn't know how long this has been coming, but it's really disappointing to her. Cody asks Christine what she gains by leaving. He says she doesn't like this place. Christine says she gets an incredible community and support system. Her parents are there and other plural families that they have there. Cody says Christine is leaving this and she hasn't liked plural marriage for years. She is leaving this and she isn't part of their church anymore. He asks how Christine is gaining a community, a plural community, by where she is going. And Christine says she has her family there. Cody tells Christine she is leaving the plural community. In confessional, Cody says he has never understood Christine's need to move. That's a lie right there. Remember when Christine and Cody discussed moving to Utah privately before she pitched it to the group? Cody was in support of Christine and moving himself. He was giddy about it. He was excited like a kid in a candy store. He was enthusiastic about the notion of moving back to Utah. He made Christine believe he would support her. He wanted to move in private. Then in front of the group, when Christine pitched the idea, he backstabbed her. He was the loudest voice of opposition to Christine's surprise. She felt betrayed by Cody. And Cody pretended he didn't know why Christine was so erratic, why she reacted so emotionally in such a big way. He painted Christine as unstable, as crazy, only to admit later he was supportive of the move privately in discussions with Christine. I think Cody wanted to move to Utah. I think he genuinely wanted the move. He's mentioned it before many times. He even mentioned it before to Leo at the inn. He mentioned it at different times over the seasons. He just changed his tune when he saw he was about to be pilloried by his wives, who were pissed off and frustrated, and Cody had no balls and no spine to tell the truth. So instead, he chose to betray Christine and oppose her because it was too inconvenient for him to tell the truth or take the heat. So in my opinion, Cody does understand why Christine wants to move completely. Cody says Christine isn't a member of the polygamous community. She isn't a part of their church. Cody doesn't understand it at all. He says unless there is some guy Christine wants to date there and she wants to get away from him so that his stink isn't on her so she can date. No, this is such utter bullshit. I honestly don't know how Cody says half the shit he says with a straight face. Cody seems very preoccupied with Christine dating, with Christine having a man, a husband, as if she could never be happy alone, as if she needs a husband and can't make a life independently on her own. Christine doesn't need a man to survive or to fulfill her, and no man is going to be with Christine and want to take Cody's pathetic coins. That seems to be Cody's concern. No self-respecting man worthy of a woman like Christine would ever want a penny of the money Cody made from exploiting his family on camera. If Christine wants a man, which I would doubt because after an experience with a man like Cody, with all of his personality and behavioral issues, she probably wants to heal first and be free and be alone for a while. But if she wants a man, She will find a man worthy of her, who she deserves, who accepts her just the way she is. She isn't moving to Utah just because she doesn't like Flagstaff. She isn't divorcing Cody just to move to Utah. She isn't moving to Utah to take Truly from Cody. She isn't moving to Utah so she can date and find a man. She is moving to Utah because her family is there. She is moving to Utah because many of her older kids have settled there. Christine wants an environment and a community filled with unconditional love and support for herself and Truly. She wants to heal and live and find joy and peace of mind. Cody is so preoccupied with Christine moving to Utah for reasons other than the truth, because the truth, the reality of why Christine is moving, would require him to take accountability for his part of the failure of their marriage. Cody wants to paint Christine as the bad guy, preventing access to the kids, taking Truly, moving just because she prefers Utah on an impulsive whim, moving to be away from him to date without his interference, moving to find and marry a man who will sue him and take his coins. None of that is true. All of that is a narrative that Cody has spun in his mind to try to make Christine look bad so he can feel better about himself and maybe look better, even though he will never look better. Cody wants to try and paint a narrative to make Christine look bad so he can avoid a good hard look at the truth and at all of his faults. And Cody, frankly, should be ashamed of himself for speaking of the mother of his kids like this on TV. He should be ashamed at his lack of appreciation for the heart of his family, who is going away to raise Truly in a supportive environment and to heal. And he should really learn to zip it. His kids don't want relationships with him for a reason. And a big part of that is probably really not appreciating the way Cody treats the wives and the way he speaks about them. These are the moms of the kids, and their father constantly disrespects and insults and berates and condescends regarding them and to them. And I'm sure they don't like that. Christine isn't playing a game. She isn't moving to find a man to be chained to then steal Cody's coins in court. She isn't even thinking about a relationship. My guess is all she is considering is her family and raising Truly in a supportive environment and putting the pieces of her life back together. But Kotex doesn't get it. He's lost the plot as usual. Robin asks Christine if she believes in plural marriage anymore. Christine responds that she believes it works for people who want it to work for them. She believes if people have a testimony for it, they should live it. Robin then asks if Christine has a testimony for plural marriage, and Christine answers no. In confessional, Cody gives his 2 cents. He thinks his relationship with Christine has been bad for so long, and it's specific to Christine's change of heart on plural marriage. Cody thinks the fact that he was so spread thin and Christine needed a certain level of attention led them to where they are at, and plural marriage just hasn't worked for Christine for many, many years. Here, Cody wants to deflect from all accountability. He puts it all on Christine, suggesting she needed more attention from Cody than plural marriage allows for, and that their relationship was bad because Christine didn't like or believe in plural marriage at a point. So because Christine decided she didn't believe in plural marriage or like it, their relationship was bad. It's all because Christine changed her mind about it that things didn't work out. It has nothing to do with Cody as the husband or his inability to do things fair and equally across the board for each wife and kids. Nothing at all. See, Cody wasn't giving all the wives equal time and investment, and he knows that. I think even if Cody was spread thin, if he gave each wife equal time and Cody didn't have a favorite wife and he didn't play manipulative games and he was fair and equally invested and engaged with all of his wives, Christine wouldn't have as much of an issue. Christine has an issue because she wasn't getting equal time. 3 full days out of 800 and a couple of hours of phoning it in twice a week isn't equal time and investment, and it's not fair. Cody isn't equally invested with all of his wives and kids, and Cody knows that. This is not about Christine changing her mind on plural marriage, leading to a bad relationship and then the divorce. This is Christine trying very hard for years to make this work, for years and years, sacrificing her needs and wants and her marriage and what she deserves in that marriage to make it work for the family, sacrificing all of herself. And Cody not sacrificing at all, unwilling to be inconvenienced. Cody wants to pin this all on Christine, changing her mind about plural marriage. He fails to mention, as the husband in the plural marriage, he did not give Christine equal time and investment, and he definitely didn't give her as much time and investment as he did to his other wives, especially Robin, the favorite wife, and her kids. They got treated much differently than the rest of the family, and it started all the way in Vegas. It actually started when Robin entered the family, but with Christine getting markedly less time, that started in Vegas, according to Christine. So Christine didn't just decide that she didn't like plural marriage. She wasn't even getting fair and equal time and investment, let alone demanding more than anyone else got. She was just wanting equal time, equal investment. She wanted things fair. And Cody couldn't give her that. Then Cody started giving the kids less than they deserved. And he manipulated and he emotionally abused and he was absent as a father, and Christine had enough. Cody doesn't get to pin this on Christine's change of heart about plural marriage. He knows he wasn't living polygamy the way it is prescribed to be lived in the faith, fair and equal. This isn't Christine demanding more than equal or about her lack of faith. Robin asks Christine if her relationship with Cody was good, even though she no longer has a testimony to live plural marriage, if she would stick around. Christine doesn't know. She says it's so unfathomable that she and Cody would have a good relationship. In confessional, Christine says she doesn't like the what if game. She has no idea. She says, who knows? Who cares? She doesn't know. She says she prayed a lot when she was deciding what to do with Cody and wondering why she needed to live plural marriage. She says when she was younger, she knew plural marriage was her path. She had a testimony. She says she and God were a team and she was going to live plural marriage. But when she prayed more and she looked at her life more and she had more conversations with God about the fact that she was miserable, she realized God was probably a God like she was a parent. She doesn't want her kids to be sad and unhappy. And God doesn't want her to be sad and unhappy either. Cody tells Christine when she first told him she wanted to go, he was arguing with her about it, and she told him not to fight her on this, to let it happen. She's going to go. And Cody said, okay. Christine says it's because they had been fighting it for so long. Cody thinks this is just the honest place. They will be angry about it. It's not fun. He's mad about it. He's angry. But it's the honest place. It is what it is. And there is no sense in killing themselves to redeem it. That's what they were doing in Vegas, he says. They were killing themselves to redeem the marriage, and it just wasn't working. I get the feeling Christine tried really hard, tirelessly, for years and years and years. She made the effort. And Cody probably gave less than the bare minimum and with reluctance, like pulling teeth. That would just be my guess. Christine tells Cody it's been even worse here in Flagstaff. A lot worse. Cody says he will be the head of his household again. He's not going to be circumvented in that. So if everybody is willing to conform to patriarchy again, because he has been fighting to make everybody happy, Cody says his bitterness is out of trying to do that and not having the family that he had thought about and designed. Wow. See, this is Cody's character in a nutshell. In Cody's perception, he dreamed of a family who would adore him and worship him as a hero, grateful to be able to be obedient to a man like him. It would be easy for him. It would be convenient. The wives would keep sweet, Wouldn't make waves or use their voices too much. They'd submit. The kids would love him. He would be revered. He would be the leader that everyone adored. No one would dare disobey. No one would dare inconvenience him. He would be everybody's top priority, the center of their world. That's my guess on what Cody means by the family he thought about and designed, as if he's a god, has the power to predetermine his life. Cody's bitterness is in trying to force the wives and kids to learn to bend the knee unquestioningly. He knows he didn't succeed with his manipulations, where he propped himself up as a reward for good behavior, that he might deign to show up as a father and a husband and grace everyone with his presence, the Cody Brown. He made hoops to jump through. He tried to manipulate to gain control and power. That didn't succeed. And now Cody fears his wife's independence. He keeps referring to Christine as independent, an independent woman. He says it with so much bitterness and resentment. He has called her an independent woman before with that resentful sneer on his face, almost as if he's referring to a plague or a pestilence. Independence is like COVID for Cody, when he should be honored. He has strong, smart, independent wives who are able to raise his kids primarily single-handedly, as if they were single moms. If these women weren't so fucking independent, there is no way in hell they would have made it through the moves and the stress and the trauma of being Cody's wives and still work and prioritize the family and raise such well-rounded, intelligent, responsible, self-aware children. Thank goodness his wives are independent. He should see that as a blessing and be grateful for it, because their independence allowed them to withstand this journey with him as an absent husband and father. Christine's face when Cody says all this bullshit about the patriarchy looks like absolute relief, like thank God I am fucking out now. Janelle says in confessional that she didn't know she had signed up for patriarchy, but that's not what they all agreed on in the very beginning. In confessional, Cody says, ironically, Janelle did sign up for patriarchy when she and Cody made an agreement that she would come into the family. She agreed wholeheartedly that she would run her will into his because he had to be the head of the family, and she made that agreement with him. Cody is a misogynistic, narcissistic, asshole, dick face, beep, beep, beep. In Cody's perception, if he marries you, he wears the pants. He is in power, and when his wives marry him, they know they are consenting to that, apparently. Now, I find it very hard to believe that a woman, any woman, especially a woman like Janelle with her intelligence level, would know that she was agreeing to marry someone who would dictate everything as a patriarch, living in his plural marriage as if it's a patriarchy. Does that sound probable that Janelle understood she was entering not just a polygamist family, but a polygamist patriarchy, and that Cody would lead and control and dictate with no compromise, as if she were less than without her voice being heard? Does that sound like something Janelle would ever sign up for? None of the wives would ever sign up for that and tolerate that. Cody equates trust and respect to obedience. If you are not compliant, if you question, you are not regarded. You no longer exist. As a wife, as a mother of Cody's children, you become persona non grata to Cody. Cody deems anything other than blind obedience as disrespect. Any type of disrespect is a huge transgression to Cody. And if you don't learn from his absence, if you don't change your behavior to Cody's liking, keep the fuck sweet. He will shun you more or less, and he won't be around. His presence as a husband is contingent on obedience. His presence as a father is contingent not only on his kids' compliance, but on their mom's compliance and obedience to him. Cody is doing this because he wants the wives to either submit 100%, or if not, if they are even slightly inconvenient, Cody wants to encourage them to leave. The wives aren't Cody's equals in Cody's eyes. He sees his wives as less than unless the wives are having babies, in my opinion. We know he told Mary maybe she should live at the inn. Christine has already moved away. Janelle has the trailer. He could potentially now get his dream of being free from his chores and the obstacles to his goals in life. It's a lot closer now for him. Cody continues stepping in it, and Janelle is looking away from Cody, pissed off, eyes closed. He says next, if it's too awkward or if he doesn't feel like he is the head of the household or the people around, then he won't have the whole family together. He says he is at a point now in his life where he doesn't have time to waste on people who won't respect him or treat him with respect. So he will see how it goes. Cody says he is disappointed in how he managed this. He says somewhere along the lines he should have taken the reins. But he felt like all of his wives' independence was more important. So in that, they lost some form of unity. This is fucking unbelievable. This is nuts. Cody is saying if he is not the dictator, if every wife doesn't unquestioningly bend the knee, if the kids don't submit as well, if they don't allow his control, if they don't willingly live in a dictatorship and bend to Cody as the ultimate authority of the family, he will not spend time with any of his wives and kids. He's raising the stakes and giving this ultimatum to all of his wives. And my belief is, deep down, he wants to run them off if they are not going to be 100% easy and convenient and compliant for him. Cody will accept them if he gets full authority. If not, he's saying don't expect to see him. Mary, he wants to stay at the inn. He'd love it if she did that. Janelle got the trailer, so she's mobile now. So now is his chance to get the wives to leave. And Janelle wants to build. And I don't think Cody genuinely wants to build. He is done pretending to play the role of a plural husband and father. He's bitter, he's resentful, his ego is bent to hell with the dents from Christine leaving and the repercussions of his behavior. So Cody is doubling down, demanding control and demanding power to restore his ego. He still apparently hasn't hit rock bottom, and it's sad and pathetic because in my opinion, mentally, he's not well. He's not in a good place. He's not in a healthy place. When Cody challenges his wives with a "we will see," from Cody, this is an ultimatum to all of the wives. If you want the family together, you will obey. I will be king. I will control this and we can be a family. Or if I am not the authority, we won't have a family at all. He probably thinks this might scare all of his wives into submission, at least for the kids' sake. I think it's cruel and manipulative, and the alternative is the wives leave and he gets to be free, which I think he wants. I think Mary may leave. I think Janelle will definitely leave. I think the trailer was her message to Cody. Let's build. Let's have our family. Let's have our permanent place. This is why we moved to Flagstaff. This is why we're doing this. And now we have to start and move quickly with building. And I think Janelle is calling Cody's bluff. And I really don't feel like Cody really wants to build genuinely, if at all. When she sees no progress, I think Janelle will leave. Mary will initially probably try to preserve the family, but in the end, I honestly think she will leave too. Cody considers disobedience disrespect. If a wife voices an opinion and it's different from his, and the wife expects compromise and it's an inconvenience to Cody, he considers that disrespect. Cody wants his wives obedient so he can have an easier time doing what he wants to do and getting away with it. If it's not easy for him, if it's not pleasing to him, if it's not convenient, He just doesn't care to do it. He's not going to be involved and invested. He feels that because he wasn't controlling and assertive enough, that it allowed the wives to gain more independence, and their independence is what has made them so difficult and inconvenient for him. Cody doesn't realize that even a submissive wife would take issue with his erratic, abnormal behavior, especially once it came down to affecting her kids. In my opinion, Cody feels that this independence created an inability for his wives to blindly submit to him, and he feels because the wives refuse to be dictated to by him, there is no unity in the family. That him leading could bring unity. That him controlling everything would bring unity. That handing the power to him and submitting to him would bring unity in the family. That's a psycho delusion, and that's absurd. What would bring unity to the family is Cody getting help, Cody making an effort to think rationally, Cody making an effort to compromise, Cody treating every wife more fairly and equally, Cody treating her kids more fair and equally, giving more equal time and investment in each house, Cody listening to his wives, Cody making an effort to prioritize them, Cody prioritizing his kids, not just for show, but when it matters. Like, for example, with Isabel's surgery, he should have attended, obviously, or with the move to college. Even if Cody has to sit there in the cold and freeze his balls off, he should still be glad to visit with Isabel, even outside, although he knows, and the world knows, his COVID mandates are fucking preposterous. He needs to see his kids no matter what and stop making the conscious choice to be absent and then putting the blame like a coward on his wives and kids. His kids are his kids. They don't deserve his bullshit and manipulations. He needs to treat all the kids the same and invest in all of them equally, regardless of how difficult the relationships are. He is the father, and it's his responsibility to always forgive and to be humble and to extend the olive branch and to love unconditionally and to show up and to reach out and nurture the relationships as the father of the kids, no matter what age his kids are. Cody could easily try and make an effort not to show favoritism to Robin. He could try to genuinely appreciate his wives and kids the way he should and the sacrifices they make, rather than putting his purported sacrifices on a pedestal each time when he knows well his wives have sacrificed much more than he ever has. They raised the kids, plus they dealt with him and work and their responsibilities. They moved a million times. They tolerate Cody's massive faults and major character flaws. They tolerate Cody's moods and his shifting expectations. They deal with his ego. They deal with the constant emotional struggle of not just living plural marriage, but they deal with being condescended to on a regular basis by their husband, married to the human equivalent of a wall. That's a lot. That's much more sacrifice than Cody has done in all 4 of his marriages combined, I'm sure. In confessional, Robin says, this is just going to rock them in a very, very hard way if they are not very, very careful. And Robin hopes everybody is taking it seriously and taking the responsibility that they now have seriously, because this is a big deal. This is huge. I think it's interesting that Janelle is like, fuck no to this patriarchy bullshit, and Mary doesn't seem too down. She might try to put up with it for a little while, but I think ultimately she will be done. And Robin is saying she hopes the wives are serious, that they hear Cody. See, Robin will bend the knee, probably for her kids' sake and for stability and security. And she feels the alternative to being controlled is breaking up the family. And she has more favor with Cody too. And she gets more compromise from Cody that the other wives don't get. So Robin will probably submit. She already has. And she expects that the other wives will take this seriously too, and that they will bend the knee to keep the family together. See, Robin needs Cody, and she knows Cody is unhinged, and she wants the family with a husband at all costs. Not the larger family, but I'm talking about her family with her kids and Cody. And if the wives leave, Cody might leave all of it. He might try for a 5th wife, an obedient wife. His ego thrives off of growing his family. He might want even more kids. He might be done with the whole family. And Robin knows Cody is a total loose cannon, and she wants to keep her branch of the family intact. And probably financially, she also has no choice. Her inclination is going to be to assuage Cody at all costs and to bend the knee. She knows the family could break up over this, and as long as she keeps Cody, I don't think she cares. But she hopes the wives fall in line, because to her, a breakup would be too hard for her and her kids. If my husband or boyfriend or partner told me I signed up for a patriarchy when I got married to him, respect me or I won't be around, I would leave immediately, kids or no kids. If I have kids, they don't need to see that example of a relationship modeled to them, period. It is not healthy for them. Cody tells the group he's sorry that they failed. Everybody looks dumbfounded and taken aback by Cody's disgusting monologue. Cody should feel very ashamed by the diarrhea he spewed on his wives, on his kids, and on the world with his toxicity. The fact that Cody can even speak that way to his wives and regard them as less than tells us all we need to know about his character, his mentality, and his mental state. It's pathetic. It's all ego. Cody took a massive blow with Christine leaving, and he wants to be the dictator now who is obeyed at all costs. And if it's not easy and convenient for him, if the wives don't unquestioningly bend the knee to his every whim, with not even a pretense at a democracy among the adults when making decisions, if they all don't fall in line and accept an authoritative dictatorship, Cody isn't going to be involved. Because Cody doesn't give a fuck about what he signed up for. Next time on Sister Wives, Cody and Janelle are driving to go see the RV she bought sight unseen. Janelle says it's massive. Cody says in confessional that it's small. Like other things, probably. They are building an RV pad on the land at Coyote Pass with an excavator. And Mary asks in confessional, what if I don't want an RV pad? In confessional, Janelle says she feels like if there's a will, there's a way. Mary is at her inn and she says Cody asked her why she doesn't just move up there. Mary says she was there at the beginning. She helped start this family. It was herself and Cody loved her. Robin says Christine has told them that she is leaving, and she wonders, are they going to be able to be around each other, or will it be tense? Cody and Robin and the kids come over to Christine's for a family gathering. It looks like it might be for Isabel's graduation. I can't be sure. Cody is brooding in a chair alone during the gathering, and he says the message that they had to the world about polygamy, it seems so dysfunctional now. I wonder how much Cody is in for on the land. He seems awfully preoccupied with his coins. He seems fearful and tense about paying this land off. If he maybe didn't buy the mansion for Goblin, if he maybe forgoed the nanny, they probably could have paid off that land by now. Now Janelle moving in the RV is pressure, and the clock is ticking. And Cody doesn't seem to have a reasonable financial plan to tackle the land. A good leader wouldn't buy land and houses he doesn't have the income or the savings for, let alone a financial plan to be able to cover it. He's going to his wives begging God for a Hail Mary, it seems. It seems to me like he has no plan at all and he is desperate, financially in dire straits. I seriously think Cody is strategizing. He will try to push Janelle out next. He keeps making it as inhospitable of a dynamic and environment as possible in order to facilitate his wives leaving him or to gain power and control back to reinvigorate his feeble ego. Most likely, Cody would like Janelle and Mary out. Janelle has the trailer, it's mobile. He is now encouraging Mary to stay and live at the inn. He's intentionally saying ridiculous, absurd, preposterous things no woman who respects herself at all would agree to and accept. He seems moody and unstable. He treats the wives as less than, like they are a nuisance to him, an obstacle to what he wants in his life. His kids, who aren't unconditionally adoring, are a nuisance to him too, and he cleaves off anything and anyone he deems as inconvenient. He finds excuses to create hoops so he can deflect blame and accountability for himself. Every time I think Cody can't get any worse, he says or does something that proves me wrong without fail. Remember I said a while back, Cody will now act like he too is a victim of the lifestyle. He will say polygamy is just so hard on the men too. It's unreasonable, the expectations on the men. It's impossible. He's a victim of the lifestyle too. And he says here in the next episode trailer that the message they had for the world about polygamy, it seems so dysfunctional now. In my opinion, he wants to blame his failure at plural marriage on the impossible lifestyle, on polygamy, and his difficult, independent, stubborn wives who are so empowered that he has no voice. And so he's going to say he has no choice but to assert himself. And he's going to say he isn't at fault here. It's polygamy. It's the lifestyle. It's dysfunctional in itself. There is no way the dysfunction in his family has anything at all to do with him, the Cody Brown, the first of his name, the ramen-haired king of the prairie dog Plagueland. That does it for this episode. To my YouTube viewers, I would love to hear your thoughts on all things Sister Wives. If you like, please leave your thoughts in the comments section. You guys always get me thinking with your insights. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.